Welcome to Livin Local, the official podcast of BlackHillsSuperfan.com. This program helps you to get to know local business and community leaders and helps keep you informed and enlightened about this marvelous place we live called the Black Hills region. I'm your host, Brian Leslie, and today we are Livin Local with Kristen Bell, the owner of Dough Trader Pizza in Spearfish. Well, Kristen, it's great to be with you here today at Dough Trader Pizza in Spearfish. We're in the cozy confines of this beautiful restaurant. The atmosphere in here, I always love it. I love the atmosphere in here. It is so warm and cozy, and we appreciate your time in letting us come in and talk to you about your business and get to know a little bit more about you.
Thank you, Brian. Glad to have you.
Well, let's begin with a little bit how the story of Dough Trader began. Maybe you could tell us that story.
Well, I guess this summer, it will be 7 years ago.
Wow.
I had been living, kind of bouncing around the country, and most recently in Phoenix, and just kind of decided I'd had enough of that, metropolitan lifestyle and wanted to return to my roots. My family is from Spearfish originally, and I really wanted to come back home and farm. But our family farm is small enough that it really wasn't going to support anybody financially. And so I knew I had to come up with something to support the farming habit. And I had 3 used pizza ovens that were just kind of sitting around. My dad donated them.
Oh, okay.
So we had 3 pizza ovens and an idea. And got a hold of the sourdough starter from a family friend and went from there.
And then Dough Trader Pizza was born. And you mentioned the sourdough starter. I know that's kind of a key ingredient in what makes Dough Trader just a little bit different.
It is, Brian. It is something that we weren't terribly familiar with when we started. But as I learned more, I realized that sourdough bread is actually traditional. The dry yeast process that we're familiar with, Red Star, Fleischmann, stuff like that, was not invented until the 1950s.
Wow.
It was come up with by the U.S. government as a cheaper, faster way to make bread. Mm-hmm. And as we know, cheaper and faster does not make better food. So even though it was a novel concept for us, it's actually a very, very traditional way of dealing with grains and gluten, and makes it easier to digest.
So sourdough predates all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So up until that point, all bread was sourdough. That's just how you did it.
I that's my favorite kind. It always has been. Mm-hmm. I'm not like huge bread person per se, but if I am, it's always like a sourdough or a rye or something like that. I love that darker grain and that. But tell us about, what is sourdough anyway? Where did it get its name? Do you know?
Well, and I can introduce you to the starter if you'd like, but it has a slight sour smell to it, slight sour taste, much like what you get in sour cream or yogurt or, buttermilk, things like that, or any kind of cheese.
It's more organic, though?
Yeah. What you have is a live, active yeast culture, and it is living its life cycle in this flour water mixture. Mm-hmm. So just like we do, living, reproducing, and dying. And this culture has, our particular starter has been going on for 130, pushing 140 years. Wow. So it's a really well-developed
130
culture.
Years?
Yes. It came out of an 1880s mining camp in Bayhorse, Idaho.
Wow.
And we got this
How in the world
Xerox
did that get here? How did it get to Spearfish?
I could recount it to you if I had my little Xerox copy with me, but it went from, person A, B, C down the line.
Yep.
Eventually ended up at the Durham Buffalo Ranch in Wright, Wyoming. Was given to us by the Flokini family. It had been in their family 20 years or so. They only use it for pancakes, actually. That's what they use it for. They'd never used it for bread or pizza or anything like that. But trial and error.
So break this down for me just a little bit. So how do you keep it alive? I mean, what's the process for getting to 130 years old? I mean, and who's going to break that chain?
It doesn't work on an individual human, unfortunately.
Probably that's outlived all of us, right?
But it's one of those things that you feed it, and with us, we just feed it flour and water. It doesn't need sugar or anything like that. It's really hearty.
Oh, awesome.
So you double the size of it. You let it ferment overnight, and then when you go to make your dough, you use some of the starter, it's called, and then you just save some back. And that process is what allows you to keep a hold of the same culture.
Cool. Wow. And I'm sure a lot of people are listening to this thinking, oh, he's an idiot. He doesn't know this, but I didn't. So I've learned something new, right? But I love it, though. It's so authentic. I mean, it's just amazing to think about that it's gone on for so long and that you can have part of it here. And it's so good. It's just really, really good. It's a signature for you guys.
Well, thank you.
Now, let's talk about the menu just a little bit as we want to talk a little bit more about the business. So you have all kinds of different types of pizza and so forth. Who comes up with the menu?
Well, originally, the menu was born when my mother came to me and said, Kristen, you are opening in a week and a half and you need a menu. So I sat down and I wrote it. And thankfully, just about everything I wrote tasted good together, and that's where we started. Since then, our staff comes up with specials that we will feature. And our kind of litmus test is if our customers continue to order a featured pizza after it's no longer advertised, then it usually ends up on the menu.
Yeah.
We've had a handful of pizzas that our customers have designed that when we try them, it's, oh my goodness, this is life-changingly good. This needs to go on the menu. Wow. So it's kind of a mix. Yeah.
Wow. You know, I can remember one night I was here really late, and Kathy and I were here, and you guys were trying out a new pizza. It was a kimchi pizza. Do you remember that?
Yes, you were so adventuresome.
It was great. Do you guys still make that?
We will make it. The kimchi was made from kohlrabi that we had grown at our no money farm. Yeah,
yeah, no money farm.
So this year we plan on planting more kimchi or more kohlrabi rather, and making kimchi with it, and we will feature that probably in the fall.
Now, do you source a lot of ingredients locally for the pizza that you have here, as much as you can, or is that does that figure much into the equation yet?
It's one of those as much as we can situations. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, whenever we have something from our farm that is delicious, we will absolutely sell that. Or if a local farmer approaches us, we have, an excess of whatever. That's kind of the fun thing about pizza is you've got a format, and then within that structure, you have total freedom. You can put anything on a pizza.
Anything. That's right.
Yeah, so whatever's available, awesome.
Well, and what's the craziest thing you've ever put on a pizza?
Oh, gosh.
Fish, ice cream.
Potato chips, maybe?
Potato chips?
Potato chips. I did have one lady, actually, she, you may know her. She ordinarily lives in China. She's from this area, I believe, originally. But we offered her potato chips on her pizza, and she balked. And she said, I have eaten all kinds of exotic foods. Like, this is where I live. I've eaten, things that kind of churned my stomach. But she said, I can't do it. I can't do potato chips.
You draw the line.
Yeah.
You put octopus on a pizza, that's great.
Right,
but potato chips, not so much.
But that's a fun one. Strawberries are another one that people don't expect ordinarily. They don't expect corn typically But yeah,
strawberries. I love that. How M&Ms, you're right. I mean, it's like a canvas, like an artist, and you can just put whatever you want on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of freedom.
And create. That's so cool. So tell me about growing up yourself. Did you come from an entrepreneurial family? And did you want to be in business, or how? You grew up in Spearfish, did you say?
Yeah, largely. My father's family is from here, right here, actually. The building we're sitting in was my dad's first job. He was 11 years old, peeling potatoes and serving French fries and fried chicken and malts to college students and what have you in the 60s. But it's something that, traditionally in our family, we kind of venture off and try to do other things, but we always come back to food service. It's just what we know. Just down the hill, what is now Killian's, was my dad's steakhouse in the 70s, Bell Steakhouse. Before that, it was his father's grocery store, Bell Market. And before that, it was his father's open-air market. And it just seems like we just love food, and we just want to share that with people.
You remember going there when you were really little, going there?
I remember the steakhouse.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, but previous to that, I was a twinkle in my dad's eye, you know what I mean? But,
so you went to Phoenix then after that, after some point. You left to the Black Hills area.
Yeah, my nuclear family began kind of snowbirding to Arizona in the late 90s. So we kind of had some roots down there, but this has always been home for me. The Black Hills is just, I mean, so many people just have that special connection with this area. And
are you an outdoor person, like hiker, biker, that kind of thing?
You bet.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to take advantage. I mean, look at where we live.
You can't
right?
live here without doing that, right? I know, exactly. It's kind of a sin if you didn't.
Right.
Exactly. So, when you're an entrepreneur and owning a business like this, a local business, it's kind of a scary thing. And you're always faced with those challenges in running a business. What would you say is some of the toughest challenges that you found in either starting and opening the business or keeping the business going?
Oh, gosh. I think the most difficult part of starting any business, particularly one that involves, retail type of situation, is the sleeplessness that comes with that. That's that's difficult, you know. When I first opened, I was 23 years old, and I had never taken on anything, just my two shoulders like this, and it was an incredible experience. You lose your fear of a lot of things just by walking through that. Day to day, I think our greatest challenge is just dealing with the unpredictability. It's just the nature of the business. You don't know if a soccer team is going to show up on a Monday at lunch. You don't know if you're going to be busy Friday night like you expected.
Wow.
And in this area, gosh, we got a blizzard. Oh, we didn't see that coming.
Nobody's coming.
Yeah, so
exactly.
There's just, there's always something.
Over time, you kind of learn how to meet those challenges, though, with certain tips, tactics, things that you just learn.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Yeah.
You just roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on the other side of the coin, what are some of the rewards, maybe specific to running a pizza place? I mean, is there something that you say at the end of the day, that was a good day or I feel really good. This was a great day. What are those situations like? What happens when you feel that way?
Oh my gosh. How much time do we have?
Yeah.
We love our jobs. We really do. Particularly me. We get to listen to our customers react to the work that we're doing all day long. And they are so kind. They're so they just want to tell you what a great job you're doing, which is phenomenal. I don't know. I've never worked that kind of a job before. We eat really well. That's a plus. We drink well. That's a plus.
Yeah.
We get to sing and dance all day long. It's just part of our culture. It's just a lot of fun.
The atmosphere or just the general vibe is just good.
Yeah, it is.
You have a good
it's very
team?
Pleasant. I do. I have a phenomenal team. Yep. I don't know how I got them, but whatever I did, I would do it 3 times over again if I could figure that out.
Yeah, that is so important. Good people are a resource that you have to value and treasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you really do. We're going to take a quick break for a quick message, and then when we come back, it'll be time for our speed round, including finding out a thing or two about Dough Trader that you may not know. So stay tuned. Hey, it's Brian Leslie here, founder of the Superfan Project. In 2017, and with a lot of help from an amazing team, we founded BlackHillsSuperfan.com for 2 reasons. First, to help support local businesses in our towns in a world where big retail and internet big box competition make it tough to survive. Second, we built it to deliver to you, our Superfan members, extraordinary value in the form of discounts and savings at these local businesses. But we wanted to go beyond coupons. Not only do we want you to save money, we want you to get to know business and community leaders. We want to deliver news, cool facts, and things about the beautiful Black Hills that maybe you didn't know, and that you can share with your friends and neighbors and family. Your $7 monthly membership helps support our efforts, and our goal is to deliver back to you 5 to 10 times that amount in savings. And remember, unlike other deal sites, with BlackHillsSuperfan.com, when you make a purchase at a local business, 100% of that money goes to that business. It stays in the local community. That's what helps make us unique. and helps your spending power have more impact right here in town. So if you haven't subscribed yet, head to blackhillssuperfan.com and click on the sign up button today. We'd love to have you. Thank you. And as we like to say, we love living local. Well, welcome back to Livin Local, the official podcast of blackhillssuperfan.com. We're with Kristen Bell, the owner of Dough Trader Pizza in Spearfish. Are you ready for our speed round?
Speed round!
Woo! Okay, first question. What is one thing about your business that folks may not know?
I think maybe a lot of people are unfamiliar with our actual physical space that we're in. It's really easy to miss. People live in this town for years and never know that this building is even here.
Yeah.
But it has housed many things which are kind of, relevant in our family history. It was the Bellboy Drive-In originally in the 1960s when they would serve passion play patrons, heading up the road. My grandmother had a thrift store in here called the Budget Spot. Sean Funk's pottery studio was housed here when he was doing his teaching and that sort of thing. And I mean, that's something that not a lot of folks know. Yeah,
just this location and the history of it. Deep history of the community. That's awesome.
The Bell family does not go very far. We just kind of stick around.
One of the things I found out in Startup Weekend a couple years ago is that you guys do TED Talks here.
That's true. Yes, that's an initiative that we began last year. We invested in this lovely projector.
So you're pointing up to
screen
the ceiling.
We've got
the projector
here.
is back over your shoulder there.
So we just thought it would be a neat format to, it's almost like a kind of church almost, where people from the community can get together and just share ideas. And these are not, it's cool to watch a TED Talk or a podcast by yourself, and I'm sure you can learn from that, but it's even more special when you can do that alongside the people that you're actually doing life with, and you can strike up conversations and have come to agreements and have pleasant disagreements.
Sure.
And so forth. So
it always fosters
that's
the
something
conversation.
we think is valuable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing unique about your business too, from the first time that I came here, was that you guys don't do credit cards, which is kind of unusual.
True. That's something that, in 2018, it's an oddity. So we're always sure to warn people from the get-go, don't rack up a huge bill and then be embarrassed because you can't pay. That's that. Although they can always do dishes, that is an option that I offer. So still haven't had anybody take me up on that yet.
Not yet, okay.
But it is there.
That's it's just something I didn't know.
Yeah. It's something, when I started out, I didn't know if this place was going to work or not. My father advised me not to take credit cards because of the transaction fee and that sort of thing. That just, it's not necessary. And to this point, we've been able to produce a product that's unique enough that people will put up with our quirks and that sort of thing. And
that says something right there.
Yeah, I think so. And it does, it does translate eventually to the customer in terms of not having to charge them more for the chargebacks and for the...
Well, you could write a check, right?
Yeah, you bet.
And what about like a debit card?
A local check, particularly if I know you. Checks do bounce. But
how about a
not
debit
a rubber
card?
check. I'm sorry?
A debit card?
No, we don't have a reader.
But you have an ATM
we do
machine?
have an ATM.
Okay, there you go. So you're covered.
So, yeah.
But I love the fact, like you said, that it hasn't been an obstacle to growing the business because the product is so good.
Yeah,
I love
to this point.
Wow.
So we're grateful that people put up with us.
Speaking of the product, and what do you think is the key to success? Dough Trader's been here for a few years. What is your key to success that you think? Something you would tell your employees or your team, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're about.
Something that really, a story that comes to my mind when you say that, Brian, is we had a Christmas party a couple of years ago. And we had, our staff, but also all kinds of, people from the community and their friends and so forth. And we did a little trivia game. And I think there were 5 or 6 teams, something like that, but not all of them were staff. And one of the questions was, what are the ingredients in the dough? And every single team independently listed flour, water, oil, salt, sugar, and love. Every single team.
Love.
And that's something that, it translates. It's something that when you come across someone who's really enjoying their work and just loving sharing that with other people, it's contagious, it's infectious. And I think that's probably more than anything what makes things work
That's
here.
awesome. Yeah. I saw that on the chalkboard on the door outside as I walked in.
Yeah. We've always got little art pieces,
little sayings, and the dough is love. Yes. What about personal habits do you practice that you think help lead to success? Because you've got a lot on your shoulders to run a business. So what are the things that you do to make sure you're ready to go?
I'd like to say things like exercise and yoga and stuff like that, which I do those things, but habit is not exactly the word I would use to describe. Personally, I think one of my greatest skills that I've been given in order to operate a business like this is the ability to see potential in other people and to value their perspective. So, it's kind of a cop-out, but really it's my staff and my customers that feed into the vision of what we're doing and where we're going.
And you have to have kind of an eye to see the potential in people to achieve that, to maintain that.
Yeah, and it's so cool to see it.
Awesome. Well, that's a first. Where do you see Dough Trader in 5 years?
Probably in Spearfish.
And you're not going to move the location, are you?
No, that's not my intent. I hope we're still making pizza in 5 years. I hope we can make it to being one of those pizzerias that, I'd like to be the old lady in the back that how does she even move? She's like 500 years old.
Older than the dough?
Yeah. So, that's something that I would hope for. We are planning this summer. We've been hobbling by for, like I said, 7 years on the facility that we have, and it's treated us well. But we're hoping this summer to add a party room so we can actually house larger parties and another bathroom and things like that. Mm-hmm. So,
do you get a lot of business during Rally?
Every year we get busier.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and every summer we get busier, which
every summer,
is. Whatever the happy side of scared is what we are for this summer.
Well, you know what they say, the difference between fear and excitement isn't that much.
Right.
It really is the same. It comes from the same part of your brain. It's the same emotion, right?
So we're excited. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll just go with that.
So Dough Trader will survive. You guys sing, don't you, when you make your dough sometimes?
We do. Yes. In fact, Robin, my manager, who unfortunately can't be here today, but I remember the first time when she first started working here, she would start singing to the dough. And she was a music major up at Black Hills State. And after about a month or two of that, she said, my choir director said he noticed my voice is getting stronger. And she said, it's because I get to sing at work. So yeah, we do. It's definitely something. It might take you a couple of days of working here, but you will be singing and dancing while you're working.
That's great. Oh, I love it. So what are your hours, and how can folks get in touch with you?
Our summer hours, which are coming up here shortly, will be 6 days a week, excepting Tuesday. Tuesday's the day we take off. We open at 11, and we close at 10 o'clock in the evening. That'll be every day of the week in the summer. In the wintertime, we close at 9 weekdays. Yeah.
Just being the winter. And you guys do have a website and a phone that people can call if they want to call in advance?
You bet.
You don't take reservations, though?
We don't. Nope.
Yep. First come, first served.
First come, first served.
Yep.
You bet.
And if you're on a nice snowy winter day, if you're lucky enough to get the spot by the fireplace, it's our favorite. Get her early or whatever. Right. Well, Kristen, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this. I've learned a lot about Dough Trader, and that's what the podcast is all about, is connecting people in the community with your stories so that they can better appreciate what you do. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Hey, and one more thing before we go. Just a word about how blackhillsuperfan.com is even more unique. When you sign up, your $7 monthly membership is converted into official Superfan credits. 28 credits for $7. And you can use these in many ways, including unlocking discount deals at local businesses and entering to win monthly prize drawings. So check it out today at blackhillssuperfan.com, where we love Livin Local. And one more thing I'd invite you to do if you wouldn't mind. Head over to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us an honest review. Let us know what you think about Livin Local. We appreciate your time and thank you for listening.